Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Capes and Commentaries. I am Nathan Kennedy. Here, as always, Tyler Baker. And boy, oh boy, 3 weeks in a row we're doing Spawn because this show is amazing.
Yeah.
we promise after this week we will we're going to do Superman because that was one that's been requested multiple times. We're going to do Superman the animated series next week. But for this week, episode 3 of Spawn, when we get to the commentary towards the end, it's going to be kind of funny, honestly, with this one, and we'll get to that. But Tyler and I have spent the last half hour talking about some of the new releases at Toy Fair. Right? Did I say that right? Toy Fair? Is it?
Yeah, New York Toy Fair.
And God, man, our poor wallets, they're gonna be hurting for the rest of the year. Because it just seems like all of the things that we ever wanted figure-wise, all these companies now are like, oh, you've wanted this here you go. Oh, shit.
They just better live up to it and not like, well, we plan on doing this and then just kind of slide it under the carpet and hope to God no one hey, didn't you say you were going to do this? Oh, well, what are you talking about, kid? I mean, that was just a prototype. We didn't say we're actually going to do it. We were just trying to find people wanted it.
Yeah, some of the things do say like pending licensee approval.
Yeah, see,
like why do you even make it then?
Don't put it out there just for us, tease our balls there and like, oh well, I can let you finish, just that kind of thing.
Yeah, but there's Ninja Turtle stuff. There obviously we'll save the He-Man Super 7 releases for tomorrow on Fans of Power, youtube.com/Fans of Power podcast. And man,
we've done Toxic Crusaders on this podcast, so Toxie is scheduled to hopefully be released, not just
looks fantastic.
Yeah, with all the original accessories and everything. So I hope Super 7 follows through on that one, and it's not taken away from us.
Yep. NECA bring in the cartoon turtles. We get the 2-packs. They're gonna be at Target. We get Raph and Mikey with foot soldiers. We get Don with Krang, and then Leonardo with Shredder. Shredder looks fantastic.
Yeah. I like how cartoon accurate like Leo's katana swords are. Like it's just like leaping right on there. I mean, everybody, and with all the different assortments, and they have the turtle com comes with I think Mikey and Don come with each a turtle com, I think, and being able to have Raph at this size, wrap the knuckles around is just the foot soldiers look fantastic. So it's well worth $50 for $25 a figure in 2-packs, and then Bebop and Rocksteady right now doing man, give us Casey Jones and Baxter Stockman in the next 2-pack.
And in stores now, if you guys want to go to your GameStops, the 90s Turtles are showing up on the shelves, and they've re-released what used to, one of them used to be a Comic-Con exclusive, but the video game Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. They've re-released those, but the cool thing about the packaging for the Friday the 13th is when you open it up, it actually plays the tune from the game, and I thought that was a nice little touch. So I'm going to go out today and maybe see if I can find that Freddy Krueger, because I did want that, and I think I passed on him once and then never found him again, and eBay sucks. But speaking of eBay, and speaking of Spawn and toys and everything.
It all ties together here, people.
It all ties together. Did this on purpose. We got this Spawn Rebirth figure. Looks badass. Tyler's got one because
I have the best friend in the world. And he decided to be gracious and get me one for myself. Which,
after we were done recording Fans of Power last week, and Joe, once he dips out, Tyler and I continue to talk a little bit longer. And I was like, hey, man, I'm looking at Spawn figures. And he's like, yeah, I've been looking at Spawn figures too. I'm like, well, which ones are you looking at? Because I want just like a decent Spawn mold that just like looks really, it'll just look really nice on the shelf. And he's like, here's this one. And then like he started talking. And I was drunk because I'm always drunk when we do Fans of Power. And I was like, don't worry about it, man. I'm buying us both one. But anyway, I got to get the reflection off of here, but yeah, that's the only bummer.
Pull back a little bit.
Yeah, I got
there. There you go.
There we go. I got this. Well, as I start, there we go. I got this Violator, 13 inches. He's gonna look good on the shelf, and
he's gonna look perfect next to Spawn on the shelf. And make sure you get those guys Overkill and your Clown when they come in.
Yeah, and I got those guys coming in the mail as well. See, that's the problem. It's the beauty of this show. It's also the problem because I go to Emily. I'm like, I bought more figures, and she's like, I've been talking about getting a new shelf to put right here for months, and we were going to go to IKEA and get one that way it closes and I don't have to. But instead,
then they realized it was almost 3 hours away to go to an IKEA. Like, hell with that.
Yeah, it's just so much effort. Driving all the way down there, and then it's going to have to like hang off the back of her truck the entire way back. And not that that's a problem, but dude, like every weekend it rains or it's snowing or something. We never have like nice, clear, sunny weekends anymore.
Not this one. This one has been a bitch.
Yeah, and it's
like the alien queen of seasons.
Yeah, it's just gonna rain all weekend. But I'm gonna hopefully today go to Target and get a 5-shelf bookshelf, and we're gonna get a baby gate to put at the door. That way, because
no one falls victim to the jaws of Jasper.
Yeah, because he's like, wait, this is a toy for me, right? It's like, no, sir, that is not for you, not for you at all. So, yeah, once I get that set up, then I can find, because I still got my Turtle movie figures still in the box right here. And I'm like, yeah, it's that they don't deserve that. They need to be prominently displayed. Like
I walk past that shelf I have to every day, multiple times a day, but I always make a point of just stopping and looking at those Turtle figures on the shelf. And I feel like, I think I need to because once Shredder and that Foot Soldier, I'll have to make changes. Like, I'm so proud of having Michael Keaton's Batman and Leo on the same shelf, because I missed out on getting that neck up 7-inch Michael Keaton that at the time it was around Christmas time. I was poor and stuff, so I never did get it. And on eBay, people were like, I gotta have $25,000 for it, because it's from the '80s, even though it was made like 2 years ago. That's the thing with NECA. If you don't buy it now, you have to be willing to go on the black market and give out one of your kidneys.
Well, they've started to re-release stuff though, so that's been a plus. Like that 8-bit Jason. Decent. I mean, I already have one. I did get them on eBay, reasonable price, but most of the prices out there were bad. So now it's good that they've re-released it. It gives those people a chance. And
because there's still a bunch of stuff like the Conan figures. Like, I don't know why they haven't bothered to release the Arnold Conan figures again, because there's 2 I missed out on. Plus, did you happen to see that Mattel's going to do those Toy Biz throwbacks to the Toy Biz movie Batman figures?
No.
Yeah. You remember when they did they released some of the superpower figures.
Yeah.
They've repainted. They've done a Batman with the same accessories with the Batarang that he comes with.
Holy shit.
They've done Joker. Remember the Joker squirted water out of his flower?
I remember there was one where it squirts that, and then also the one where you can the color changing.
That was part of the actual official line, but this is a throwback to the one that Toy Biz did briefly, the Batcave Batmobile that from that line.
Yeah,
they've got Joker with an acid bursting out of his flower effect and everything, and they've also got Riddler that looks like it was part of that Toy Biz line too, which was based off the Superpowers line.
Yeah,
Poison Ivy's behind them too, but to have a Toy Biz '89 Batman and Joker based on that toy line, I'm like, oh man, it's good to see Mattel doing something competent for a change instead of some lame ass 3-year-old version of Batman. When I say 3, I mean one that's meant for toddlers, as opposed to here's more DC Universe figures that no one gives a shit about.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna be part of is the multi DC multiverse figure line.
Yeah,
it's all I find is Wonder Woman movie figures and Dark Knight Return figures they couldn't seem to get rid of. That's
those things are still sitting on the clearance end cap at Walmart, man.
Yeah, they really. I guess the love for that comic only goes for so deep, because there's tons of those things left over at Walmart.
Yeah, God, I think they're like $6 now, and no one's buying them.
Yeah, no one's buying them.
I just set them out front, free.
Yeah, free. Just take them. Just take them.
We'll just take them all. We'll mail them to Joe, and he can use them
for customs and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's what they're going to be a part of. So I saw that this morning too. So that's another exciting thing to be looking for.
Would it be too much to ask to get a Bob the Goon in that line?
I'm kind of surprised that wasn't thrown in the mix. To give us a Bob the Goon, a Joker, a Batman, and I'd be happy if they threw in a Mr. Freeze. a Lex Luthor in his purple business suit, like to get more of that Toy Biz line. I would be all about buying figures. Like,
I remember they had Lex in the purple suit, but then but they also had him in that armor. It was like
that was part of the Superpowers line. But then
now I'm getting everything confused.
Well, because the one we're talking about is the one that came out in '89, which they just repackaged some of the figures from Superpowers along with this line. Like they repainted the Batman and just added the belt accessory to him. So what they're doing is, I mean, so that was it was Batman, Robin, Joker, Bob the Goon, and then they kind of expanded and brought in Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, the Penguin, Lex Luthor, and Superman. As part is to kind of coincide with that line. They had like the same package. It was like DC Superheroes, I think is what it was called. And then you had Batman just based on those 3 figures from the movie. But they all kind of came out together, similar packaging and everything. So, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Because I also remember too when Batman Returns came out and they basically just repainted that
and the same Penguin figure again.
Yeah. So
I thought it looked like Danny DeVito.
Well,
cheat with me.
But I still bought it. Yeah. So to have the one with like the blue and like that light purple and the yellow, but then have the one where it's just like the black and red. Yeah. And then I remember going everywhere trying to find that Catwoman and the Robin in that line when it came out. Oh my God. And how excited I was when we finally found them.
I think it'd be cool if they continue to do more throwbacks to that stuff. Like, give us a Michael Keaton with his custom coupe. Michael Keaton in the slick, black outfit, and that, and give us some Penguin Commandos too. Hell, I'd buy a small set of those.
I'm surprised that they did. I'm surprised they didn't even do that back in the day, or did they?
Yeah, they did.
They did. I don't even. I don't remember that at
Penguin Commandos you could get. Yeah.
Huh. You're blowing my mind.
I think they were even in the commercials because they had like 2 or 3 commercials for the Batman Returns toy line. They were featured in one of them.
I don't know why that.
And why isn't NECA released Penguin and Catwoman in smaller scale? We got Michael Keaton. I'm like, and I still would love to have the quarter scale, but it's not so easy to fork over $120. Hey, give me that one, and give me that one too. I'm sorry. We're me and Nathan. We're blue collar workers here. We, we make good money, but we can only do so much.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, all right. I break it down in my head. I'm like, all right, well, I spent this much, but I bought 4 figures, so it's fine. I could have got this one figure for the same price. So no, I'll just get these 4 instead. You have to balance it out, and then you have to look at your bills and just be like, all right, well, once I pay this and this,
okay, what can I treat myself to? You work your ass off to get paid. Like, okay, I'm getting something, because damn it, I earned it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like that whole mentality of being a kid and walking at the aisles of Hill's department store never really left us in a way. It's like,
no,
I'm getting a toy, damn it.
Yeah. So just something, but it was always like a budget. Like you could get one figure. Like it wasn't too often I could walk out with a vehicle or a playset. That never happened. Unless my grandparents were with me.
Vehicles and playsets for like birthday and Christmas occasions. Yeah.
It was always an action figure. So if I was with my mom, she would get me one action figure. Same with my brother, and the same thing with my dad. And sometimes with my dad, he was like, go ahead and grab those too. And there's a couple of like specific occasions I would love to share at some point of like when my dad did this and he did this and he did that for like, you're blowing my mind here, Dad.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do something someday, just an episode either here or Beyond Retro that's sort of dedicated more to just like our toy store war stories.
We call it Toy Stories.
Shit, there you go. Yeah. Toy Stories.
Yeah.
Done. See,
I'll be
Tyler does like to talk toys. Huh?
I said, I'll be Buzz Lightyear and you can be Woody and Joe can be Sid, the crazy kid who customizes toys.
Yeah. God, anyone that Photoshopped us, get on that, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind being Woody. Woody's cool.
I like them both, though. I'm just saying, like, Buzz is like the.
No, I could see that. Buzz is kind of like the aloof guy. Like things go over his head sometimes, especially there at the first movie. I'm the guy that's just like, look at this shit. He thinks he's a real toy.
Yeah.
He thinks he's real.
and then Joe's just tearing apart stuff. People will love this.
Someone get on
I
that.
see Joe tearing apart or repainting over an vintage Scare Globe because some guy's like, I think it would look really cool with like teal blue and a black cape, man. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You're destroying a vintage Scare Globe because you think color changes look cool? God, I hate that. And then Joe's just, throwing up cash in the air like big boy Caprice.
Hey, it gets him paid.
I know, but it's just when he does that in showcases, like, look, I destroyed another vintage figure. Some guy paid me to do it. Like, just stop it.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, anyone out there listening, if you Photoshop us a lot, please do that. Me as Woody, Tyler's Buzz, and Joe is
if you're gonna do it, make sure it's a complimentary picture of us. Don't just some like, where I'm like in some like awkward like rant.
No, I want you to make Tyler look as dumb as possible. Please.
Oh God,
that is my request. Well, before we go ahead and dig in to the commentary that we are known for on this show, I want to say hello to Jason Ritter, Fedmon, Iceman Traveler, and Delva78 who are live in the chat. We got a few more of you that are kind of lingering around. So those of you out there in the ether in this nether realm, Mortal Kombat, that new game's looking all right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here live. And every time I do this, I get like really jazzed up and excited. Like it puts me in a better mood to start the weekend. And I'm always like, you know what? I'm probably gonna end up streaming video games tonight and eating pizza and being drunk.
Well, you don't have to work tonight, so you ought to be great in a great mood to begin with.
Yeah, that was God. I don't know, Tyler, if you watched the Transitional Champion podcast this week. We were originally supposed to do it on Wednesday, and Tuesday night they were like, "Oh yeah, we're working 8 hours." I'm like, "All right, right on," because it's normally a 9-hour shift now. They're like, "We're working 8." I was like, "Okay," and then an hour later, probably about an hour and a half out before we were gonna leave, they're like, "No, we're working 10." So then I'm like, "Great, I'm here 3 more hours." So I messaged Doug and I was like, "Hey, can we push this back to Thursday?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine." He's like, "I'm going to talk about NXT TakeOver because you've been telling me to watch it," and he watched it, and he was just like, "I was okay," and I was like, "Well, whatever, Doug, wrestling on there is fantastic." And he's like, "Oh, I know the wrestling's great, but he's just like the way it's presented." I'm like, "What? It looks great." No, we didn't argue about that or anything, but we did that show on Thursday. Got the Elimination Chamber this Sunday. So on the next episode of Transitional Champion Podcast, we'll be talking about the fallout from Elimination Chamber and Raw and SmackDown. I don't know if I put the link to that on here. Yeah. Check out that link down below. I'll probably plug it again at the end of the show. It's myself and Dirt, Doug Turner, former producer. I beat him in a match and took over doing the show for Beyond Retro and Fans of Power. But we do a wrestling show together now, and
then we're wrestling for like the custody of the podcast, much like how Ray and Eddie had a ladder match.
Oh my God, that was
that was what kind of match it was. Me and Joe were sitting in the crowd like, who's gonna win? Oh no,
it was so dumb because they tried to play it off like Dominic was Eddie's kid, and you look at Dominic and you're like, if anyone has seen Rey Mysterio unmasked in WCW, you're like, yeah, that's his kid. How is that not his kid? And they tried to play it off, and it sucked. I hated that shit.
See, this is Nathan at his best when he's just talking about a vintage angle in wrestling. Man, you cannot put a price on the satisfaction just listen to him go off about. I mean, you name it. Whether it's Triple H having sex with Katie Vick. Which I remember seeing that live and talking to Nathan about it afterwards.
I screwed her brains out. And he like holds up brains. I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, it's me, Kane.
Oh my God. And Vince Russo wasn't even there anymore.
No, and I remember Bruce Pritchard talked about filming that, and that Vince insisted on like going through and using the version that was aired.
And that was actually at a funeral home.
Yeah,
right?
And the actual funeral was going on at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Terrible.
Yeah, and Vince was like, no, we're going to shoot it. And... Yeah, I can't forget which episode, but he does talk about that in depth about that angle. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. We've side ranted long enough. And it's already been mentioned, Spawn commentary, but yeah, the thing is with Capes and where we haven't done Beyond Retro podcast either the last 2-3 weeks now. This is usually the only time Tyler and I really get like face to face.
Yeah,
we can see each other and talk, so we just end up talking about whatever we want to catch up on. I don't know.
So if you people want your toy talk, well, now you got it. You're going to bitch about that. Why don't they talk about toys? That's why we don't watch.
Well, no,
they're talking about toys.
There's a difference. To me, there's a vast difference between like He-Man toys and the news there, and then just you and I talking about other toys that are coming out, because that's a more broader thing than this.
Well, it's not the same stuff being released over and over again. It's different things. It's things we would like to see. It's not.
I already got him on that.
Yeah.
Thing. But
Lord, it's a glow in the dark version of He-Man. Oh man, my nads are pumped over that one.
But tomorrow you will actually have positive things to say.
Yes, I will.
About toys, and we'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil any of it for. We'll save that for tomorrow.
Which I think that's why Joe was so like elusive and like not saying much, because I'm sure like I don't want to sit there and like everyone tagging the hell out of Joe. Hey, did you see? Did you see this guy? Hey, did you see? And like Joe's not going to say anything till the podcast tomorrow, and people are like, "But did you see?"
No.
So, yes, I saw you. Yeah, but did you see what I tagged you in? Which means respond to it. Make me feel like I'm part of the group here.
Yeah, Facebook's weird that way. The whole dynamic of our internet social media culture. It happens a lot. I've had relatives before that were like, "Yeah, but you didn't like what I posted." I hate that. Like, yeah. I don't mind being tagged and stuff and everything, but it hasn't happened to like any other than relatives. Relatives are the worst at it, but no one else has come to me as like, "Hey, you did see that? Why didn't you like it or whatever?" And it's like, okay, like that. That's why I usually try to just at least like it, because sometimes I'm like, looks cool. There's not much to say.
Well, you know what? If I get tagged and stuff too, I'm like, I'm not going to just give you the ego boost of liking it, because if I don't like it, I'm not going to like it just because you thought I have to. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that, because if it's stupid, no, I'm not going to engage in that. Why?
If it's stupid. All right. Anyway, Spawn commentary. Shit.
Which makes me think about I don't know how we're going to get it in, but I swear we're going to do it in like 30 seconds. But Nathan went on a rant about Pops last weekend.
Oh shit! Let's do that after the commentary.
Yeah.
Let's do it after. I want to save it for that. Yeah, I want to unload that. I was drunk too after I bought those Spawn figures. We'll get into it. Yeah. Spawn, episode 3. Tyler, go ahead and give us that countdown. No rest, no peace, no sleep, no fear. All right. Anyway.
3, 2, 1, action. I actually at work talked to 2 guys about Spawn like by coincidence this week at work. Like,
did you tell them, hey, I do this podcast, check it out?
That's the thing. I often feel like
just plug it, man. Just plug it. Anyone wants to have a conversation, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to say so far that this is the weakest of Todd McFarlane's intros to the show. And he still looks nervous. I don't know why. He does this thing with his eyes when he's talking. It's like they're rolling in the back of his head. But I like what he has to say.
And maybe this is probably like the best they got out of him. You may think about that. Like I'm sure that's like they probably tried take after take, and the director's back there like ready to gouge his eyes out. And
I would say the same thing, because even on here, like I have nervous like twitches. Like people see me do this or like this all the time. It's honestly like I shower twice a day, or at least wash my face and wet my hair, so it's like my skin.
He's still lathery. He's got soap in his hair.
No. My skin just gets dry, so it does get itchy. And this right here is that's nose hairs, man. I need to
trim them, dude. I'm gonna have it trimmed in mine too.
They keep. They keep coming back.
It's puberty that never stops.
On the last episode of Spawn, we get a recap of what happened here in episode 2, which is it's always nice seeing this again. And I'm gonna reiterate this. I love the shadows.
Yeah.
It just looks so good.
Something that adds texture to what you're looking at, the environment, the characters, the story. It's an element that enhances the maturity of it, something that's severely lacking. And I'll be honest, I have not watched any of like the Adult Swim cartoons in God knows how long. We're talking years and years. So from like Afro Samurai to, anything else that's come on, and which is probably just some random reference. I'm just saying I don't have cable TV because there's nothing on TV that I care to watch.
No, there's nothing.
But I don't know what they've done with cartoons for adults and stuff like that, and in terms of like how serious they are. But I just feel like they're not interested in making superhero cartoons for adults or something that adults can appreciate. And and hopefully when DC's already scrounging, even though Aquaman was a giant hit, which I'm like, why? And Marvel continues to keep pushing the feminist act in their movies. At some point, someone's going to come piss in their face and say, well, you brought this on yourself. And hopefully they will want to go back to something like this,
Everything goes in cycles. I imagine we'll get back to like edgier things. Not only...
Well, I kind of felt like because the Nolan Batman films were so popular, everyone felt like, well, this is the way we have to go with it, guys. Everyone's depressed and ready to put a bullet in their head. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But this is how Overkill works.
I love his voice so much.
So wouldn't it be great if you could talk like that at work? Then you could really get some stuff done.
Yeah. I just need to get like a voice modulator.
Yeah. Yeah, Overkill is someone that would really look great in a live-action Spawn movie. Of course, I'm sure he'd be wearing like motion capture, like they put like the outfit on a bald-headed actor.
Yeah, like how they did with Cyborg in the Justice League movie.
I guess I couldn't tell you because I didn't.
I don't really remember much of it because I was drunk. It's the only way to watch that movie. Anyway,
when we always talk about doing like T-shirts, we never will ever get made based on our podcast. That would be Nathan's. I don't remember. I was drunk.
Yeah, and I like here how even though the bum told him what he wanted to hear, he still rips his arm off and throws him in the trash.
Yeah, and uses it to write on the wall.
Yeah. You can hear the bone just scraping against the wall.
That's got badass written all over it, man. That's something you just don't see. Well, it just makes watching Spawn crawl up.
Yep, hang out with the gargoyle.
Oh man, that's just beautiful. So simple.
Can we bring that back again with like taller buildings? Can we do more of that? Bring the gargoyles back, man.
Yeah, that's what I always love about Superman mythology when they want to hang out on. That's why Daredevil's so cool. When we see Spider-Man hanging out on the cathedrals and things like that, Batman, it just.
And I like this. I was gonna say I like this here too. It's like midnight, and then he busts through the walls. Like, all right, it's midnight
somewhere.
Yeah, it's midnight somewhere.
Yeah, so cool. Which I never did own the issue where Overkill shows up, and I remember it distinctively when it was out and seeing it prominent in various places. Of course, when it came out, Spawn was so popular, it was hard to get any of the early back issues. So I could not tell you if this is, and I'd assume most of this is pretty verbatim from the comics, at least the first few comic books that came out.
Well, I'm sure I saw the Iceman Traveler was lingering around in the chat. I'm sure he can confirm or deny if this is similar to the comic book.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I only own the first 3 issues. I thought I had more than that, but just the first 3. But still, that's first 3 still good to have.
Yeah, and beautiful covers, aren't they?
Yeah. It's midnight in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could talk like that. That would be awesome.
I wish my eyes could glow like Spawn. So like when I really want to be serious. With some guys at the gym, hey man, You mind if I work in with you and just look at him, my eyes glow green? Like, get the hell out of here, man.
And I know it's taboo to say, but I do like that line that he says there.
Well, yeah, which
it's.
I hate that. Like if we.
Yeah,
he says fag. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
He said it in a faggy outfit.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of language you'd expect from a villain like Cyborg. So he's not supposed to be a PC character. So I don't think people who watch this podcast are like social justice warriors. I don't think.
Well, you also have to think the time period when this comic and especially this animated series came out. We're talking tail end late 90s. Culture was a lot different then. I hate, and I'm going to keep this brief, but I hate the fact that in so many cases we're going back to the past and being like, oh no, it's like that. No one cared at the time. The times were different. Times are different now. Yes,
not everyone wants to act like a big bunch of a herd of pussies.
Sure, sure. Things don't age well. Like it's whatever. Terrible for whatever reason. Anyway. We'll get off that, but yeah, stabs Overkill right through his little laser eye, and I like that shot right there too, where he turns and you just see more like dripping. And I like this as well, where he's just starting to fire these missiles up, big explosion, and I like how he just stands there.
Thinks he's so triumphant.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I didn't want to get on that pedestal for too long.
Well, no, I mean, it's just like what we're going to go back and tear apart, which I will not stand for, is they decide to go back to like, well, Jesse Ventura says slack-jawed faggots and Predator. I'm like, that's something that those guys would say, and it fits the movie. It's not trying to sit there and slam the gay community or anything like that.
Yeah. Plus, that was 1987.
Yeah. Plus, that's the kind of language you'd expect from a group of guys like that.
Yeah.
Ball busting, trying to like, don't be feminine, because they're not. So
anyway, we'll leave it at that. The point is, like, don't dig in the past. Like, some things, yes, makes sense, but like if someone was shitty years ago, okay, but if they're different now, and that was a mistake, people make mistakes. You have to draw a line somehow. You can't just point fingers all the time. Especially at shit that happened like years and years ago. Just leave it be.
People got entirely too much time on their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't you have bills to pay or lives to live or someone
or commentaries to do for on the animated series?
Or sex to have or something? Wouldn't you rather be having sex and watching cartoons? Like, oh, well, I don't like what they did back in 1990. And I want, Robert Downey Jr. to pay for his sins.
Yeah. Man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spawn with guns, man. Which is
something
I can't wait to put on display.
Yeah, you'll have that in about an hour.
Yeah. Which is about as clean-cut Spawn as you can get.
I like the fact, even still, 3 episodes in, we don't know exactly what happened.
No.
We're just getting the flashes and
Excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely that's why it's thankfully we have the blessing of watching this on DVD and can binge watch the whole thing as opposed to back in the mid-90s when you had to watch it once a week.
Iceman Traveler says it's pretty close, but not perfect.
Yeah. I kind of figured there would be a few liberties taken, but not too far from the source material, because this doesn't strike me as something that, what's the Spawn movie? It doesn't stray away from the source material. It's just bad dialogue. Bad dialogue. And some bad acting. But not by everybody. But that's a podcast for another day.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
I just found myself just sitting here watching.
And I like how it just has like trippy moments too.
Yeah, which is stuff you see right out of the comic books. This is where, you would see stuff like this. You'd have to see Al Simmons going through these kind of mental anguish, I guess is the best way to put it, where he's a lost soul, still trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. Why is he here? What's his purpose? And just struggling with, who he is and where he's at, and watching his best friend and his wife, play horizontal rumba.
Yeah, which we'll get to here momentarily.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, with that new Spawn flick, just pattern it off of this.
Yeah, this is what it needs to be, which when
have them in the alleys, have that dialogue with the bums more often.
Yeah,
take up.
It needs to be a hard R. This is not something that I'm assuming.
I assume it'll be
McFarlane. I don't think he'd be pushing for something to be PG-13 at all.
Yeah, yeah. He was sort of like burned by it the last time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is something I could see in a movie too, with like some sort of reject doctor doing some kind of back alley, much like the Joker with that surgeon in that like old abandoned doctor's office in Batman '89.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. And it's cool too because I don't think we don't need to see how it happened. We just know that it did, and just showing the remnants makes the biggest statement. Seeing less is more,
which is a cool visual.
Yes.
Yeah. Son of a bitch that he was.
Yeah. Just man, right in the legs. Man, why didn't Keith David get it?
I like that. It sounded like me, honestly. And I like the fact that after we have this exchange, once Spawn leaves him alone, the first instinct is he picks up a gun and just starts firing.
Because I'm sure in traditional mob boss fashion, you're not going to be made a fool of. Even though right now, I'm sure he's about ready to drop a load in his pants right now.
Yeah.
But I'd expect that. But
God, Keith David's voice is just
kind of makes you wonder why he hasn't been used in more. I mean, he's done so much voice work over the years, but I feel like he would be used so much more prominently in flagship shows.
Well, maybe he's just starting to like pick and choose more and take more, not work all the time.
Yeah, and I can understand that too. I mean, he's been working so long. I mean, I'm sure he has those credentials to just pick and choose, because obviously the man knows he gets a lot of work based off his voice. But not to mention he's a great actor too. I've not seen him in anything that of course I wasn't going to watch Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah.
That I know he was in.
If you're listening, Keith David, please.
What's that?
I was just saying, Raleigh SuperCon, Keith David.
Oh, yeah.
Make it happen. We're getting Tim Curry. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing.
Well, it might just have to be him and Judith Hogue. I don't think I'll be able to afford anything else.
Now we dig back into Wanda's side of things.
Yeah, which is
having to defend these monsters. Which, and I'm glad that it's also addressed in this episode, just how heavy it's weighing on her. Because we talked about it before. Like, I can't even imagine what goes through your mind. Like, trying to do your job well and having to just stick up for these people that have done awful, terrible, inhumane things.
Yeah, and that is your job.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I like this touch here that she still has that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot too. Yeah, I wish you could see if I could just send you the images of how Wanda and Cyan look in the comics. Like, that's them. That's exactly how they look. Same thing with Terry. Everybody. That's. I just always hate it when people who do superheroes, they have to come in with, I want to change things up. Okay, like why? Why does everyone feel like they have to come in and revolutionize something?
It puts their own stamp on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way people can, if they piss on it, well, it's not my fault. I guess I just don't like this version of Spider-Man. I just don't like him at all. It ain't my fault. I'm sure that's what they're saying. The good people over at Nickelodeon who made that abominable new Turtles cartoon.
Yeah.
But when NECA keeps putting out stuff like that and movie stuff keeps getting celebrated, I'm like, you can't really dance around that fact anymore, people.
Yeah. Not wrong. God, this guy looks creepy.
Yeah, but especially to have his mom there with him.
Yeah.
Which, this is like pure trailer trash here.
Yeah.
Such detail, though. It's reminiscent of, because I hadn't finished it yet, but I've been watching that Ted Bundy series on Netflix. And
it's good.
Yeah.
It's creepy, though. It's unnerving.
Watching that too, I'm like, how the hell does he get all those attractive women to go out with such an ugly looking dude?
Apparently Ted Bundy.
I was like, he must have had charisma.
I'm a good boy. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm a good boy. I've been taking my pills.
You do a good job of that. Nathan could do a voiceover work for playing,
Dude, I would love to. I would love to be part of an animated show and do voices. That would be awesome.
You could do like an angry businessman, do your Vince McMahon impression. Yeah. I'm not guilty, damn it.
I'm glad people like that impression.
Well, how could they not? I don't know for years.
Well, it's ever since Joe was like, well, in case you couldn't hear what he was saying.
What?
Remember when we did the Survivor Series thing on Fans of Power, and I did Vince's voice, and then Joe had to go and say everything over again. I was like, I'm pretty sure people understood what I said, but whatever. I'm a good boy. Yeah, conclusive evidence. It's like, your clothes and the blood and everything, the semen, all of it matches. Like you're guilty.
Yeah, that's seeing this kind of details and stuff like that. So, I mean, I can appreciate that they're pushing the envelope of what you're dealing with in an animated show. Because I know some people too, when they feel like it's a cartoon, I feel like if you were trying to bring in people who aren't familiar with comic books, and you say it's a cartoon, oh well, I can't watch it. You don't understand. I show you 15 minutes of a Spawn episode, you're gonna be like, what the hell am I watching here?
I don't hurt nobody. I'm a good boy.
Like somebody on True Detective.
Yeah, it's just really unnerving how they focused on his eyes.
Yeah,
just zoomed into him while he's just saying that. It's terrible.
You see a lot of these news briefs in the comic books too. That shots like that. That's a staple in the Spawn comics too.
Yeah,
they have 3 or 4 networks, like the E channel, and 2 other news channels reporting on stuff going on in the world. Good grief! Look at Wanda.
Oh yeah, here. Wanda, what's up?
Her dough was risen.
Poor Al Simmons just having to out in the rain.
That's sad, man. You just want to come and visit your wife, and you have to just knowing that, it really is. It's a big deal when you realize someone you really care about is having sex with somebody else. I mean, that's, it's a heartbreaking thing, but it's a very realistic thing and adds so many levels to Spawn's character. To have him there watching that, he's not there as a peeping Tom, acting like Jack Nicholson, cool, in the bushes watching. No, he's there to visit his wife.
He misses his wife, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense that he would come upon a situation like that, and I'm missing out on all this.
And now he's thinking about when he used to fuck her.
Yeah.
I love you, Wanda. Oh yeah. I feel like I've heard this song before. This sounds like in Jackass when Party Boy.
I always thought that was the funniest bit of techno music because of him. This is yeah.
It sounds kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
Iceman Traveler did ask if either of us watched it when it came out on HBO. No, because I was.
I caught one episode once, because where where I was staying at the time, the place had HBO, and I tried to watch some of it, and I could not tell you what episode it was, but and then I think I tried to catch it on VHS once and just couldn't quite get into it. But one time on HBO, I did catch pieces of it, and I think because my dad wasn't interested either, he made his change the channel because not because of nudity or anything like that. Yeah. It was just like wait, that's enough of this.
I'm an idiot, so that's why I didn't watch it. But I'm here now.
Well, that's why, you have me to kind of help rekindle that passion here. Yeah. Have you seen the Chapel figure, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they never revisited that character because they just did the one figure of him, I think.
Yeah. It is strange that they didn't.
Yeah. But I love that they don't shy away from, Chapel hanging out in a sex club like this. We're actually watching people have sex and then grab some waitress here or girl that works there.
Yeah.
And this is what he's thinking about. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll get paid. He's like, he just wants to get laid. It's just seeing that kind of element. It adds levels to that character, I think, too. It's all about expanding. Like, you don't see. I mean, once it's done, you kind of see what kind of character Chapel is. Like, he's a cold-blooded killer. He loves his job, but he loves his women too, and hanging out in sex clubs like that is just. It's a level of maturity I can appreciate. Like just taking this girl off this guy's lap.
Yeah,
that's alpha.
Going in for the boob squeeze gets denied.
Yeah,
you're coming with me. Yeah.
Yeah, Chapel's a badass. God, this is so alpha.
You got a fucking problem? Cuts his fingers.
Oh, man. And she still goes with him willingly like that.
And here we go. And here's going to be kind of awkward, Tyler and I watching a grunty sex scene.
But it's animated quite well. Like, there's a shot of the fan there, and he's giving it to her good.
Yeah, he's grunting pretty good.
Kind of makes you wonder, like,
And now he's having flashbacks too while he's fucking. That's.
Yeah, which I'm sure it's.
Yeah, dude's got some problems.
Yeah,
war fucks with people.
It does. It's not something you just take for granted. Like, I mean, how could it not? I mean, I never would. I'm thankful I've never had to experience such things or know people who.
This did kind of make me laugh though. Because he's like, no while he's fucking, and then like he comes and the spawn eyes do this. I'm sorry. That's what I do too, actually.
Yeah, he cries whenever he's done with,
I apologize too. Anyway,
back to a bloody child.
Yeah. What a nice segue, right?
Jeez. But I guess to its credit too, not any Joe Blow could, I think, handle the content of this cartoon because we're seeing stuff that it's hard. I think it's hard for some people to see in live action movies.
Yeah,
Man, Danny DeVito really needs to be playing clown.
Yeah,
he really does.
That would be a good touch.
Yeah. I mean, because Danny can play sleaze like nobody else can. I mean, even when he's playing like a good guy, like in Twins, where he's playing Vincent Benedict. I mean, he's sleaze, but he's a good sleaze. But if he's allowed to play evil sleaze, yeah. I mean, that's why don't they put me in charge? It's like Jim Cornette says: the people who know how to don't have the money. The people who have the money don't know how. It's always going to be the case.
Yeah. Maybe one day, man. You can be a consultant and write stories and do shit for major companies, and it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would.
I'll ride your coattails.
Yeah, I have to bring you in too, especially if I'm like having writer's block. I need you to make me laugh and stuff like that, and just go on a drunken tirade. And another thing about Pops.
Oh yeah, speaking of that tirade, when I purchased those said Spawn figures that I showed off earlier in the episode, we got to talking about it. And how did we get on the subject exact? Oh, wait, here it was. I was looking at feedback on eBay sellers and like ratings on Amazon for certain products, and most of it, and it's understandable, I get it, but people are so anal about their Funko Pops and the packaging, the boring ass box that it comes in, and all of them look the same. There's no distinguishable differences between the boxes. And they're like, I got a thing, 1 star. Oh my god, this is ruined forever. It's like, take it out of the fucking box. I'm sorry. I am at a point in my life where, yes, some things probably do need to stay in the packaging, but I'm going to take that shit out and it's going to sit on the shelf. I hate the fact that, oh, the box, it's the corner. I can't. I guess it's ruined. It's like
my weekend is over. Like I have to go home and crawl in my sock drawer.
Funko Pop.
In a white box.
Funko Pop. And I saw this on Facebook. Funko Pops are the Beanie Babies of this generation.
They are.
They really are. There's too many of them. And yes, I have here. If we can get that. You can kind of see, like, there in the middle. I do have Funko Pops, but it's of,
because it represents a character that you like, not because a fixation to collect every single damn one with color variations. And this one was released with a slight variation because of one episode of the cartoon, but was only released in like minute quantities, and you have to go all the way to California for actual pickup because you can't buy it all. I mean, just all this nonsense of people leaving through hurdles and obstacles and all this stuff to get the same damn figure. And it's essentially the same thing over and over again. The wide head, big eyes. And that's what makes them
the same fucking shitty box packaging.
Yeah. The
same.
Black.
It's got a number. It's got the name. It has the logo, what it's from. And that's it. That's it. There's nothing different between any of the Funko Pops. It's horseshit.
And at some point, just like with Beanie Babies and Pokemon cards, it's going to, all of a sudden, no one cares, and people can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
And people are probably thinking they're going to be like, I'm going to make lots of money because I'll go on eBay and go to flea markets and go to comic book shows and sell all these things. Like, no, you won't be able to get rid of them. You can't give them away. It's going to get to that point.
I think the last Funko Pop I bought was a year ago, and it was the John Wick one, just because I'm like, all right, yeah, John Wick. Like as of that time, we didn't have any John Wick merchandise. Now we're getting a Hot Toys version of John Wick. Diamond Select's coming out with a figure. I'm probably going to buy both of those because I have to have it because John Wick's badass.
Yeah. Best thing in the movie's going right now.
Yeah. Well, I also stepped out of my comfort zone. I bought the digital version of Creed 2 because it came out a whole month before Blu-ray. I'm going to watch that this weekend. I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait till it comes out on Blu-ray, and I'll just go blind buy it and watch it when it comes out.
I hate that shit too. I'm sorry, but don't try to push digital and be like, well, it's coming out a month earlier. Yeah, this time it works because I really want to watch the movie, but when you do the Blu-ray, it's coming with the digital copies. Just release the shit at the same time.
And it comes out so damn expensive too. Like, if you're going to push it, drop the Blu-ray price. $25 to $30 brand new.
Something. Either make the digital $15 or $12.
Yeah.
And tell you, if you really want to push it, drop that price more.
Yeah, because if they're struggling to keep hard copies of movies alive and in demand, if you're going to offer all this stuff, well, it doesn't justify charging $30 for something, unless you go to Target, then you get maybe $5 off if you buy it the week it comes out.
Yeah. And I want to stress enough before we go off the air here that I do like Funko Pops because obviously I have them sitting here on a shelf. I enjoy them. I just hate the people that are so worried.
Fans ruin everything. It's why,
And it does, like, it's just a shitty box. That's all it is. It's just a shit box. And it all looks the same.
I've never understood why people who are toy collectors, but they collect in box. Like, buying anything that's been released in the last 15, 20 years, because 20 years we're talking 2000s.
Mass produced.
Yeah, vintage we're talking early 90s and further back, which I know once 20 years hits makes things an antique. But, you look at some of the stuff that came out 20 years ago, I wouldn't consider that an antique.
Yeah.
This came out
20 years ago. I paid $28 for it.
Yeah, still mint in box. as big as that was.
I'm taking it out of the box, and I'm sorry if that makes anybody like cry or something.
Well, that's the thing too. Like men on card, vintage stuff from the '80s and further back. That makes sense. That I would be quite put out if someone bought a vintage, 1983 Return of the Jedi figure or He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, Turtles, took it out of the box. Like, why in the hell would you do that?
Yeah.
But with the current stuff, I've never understood the mentality of like buying He-Man classic figures or new Turtle stuff, new Transformers, anybody keeping them in the box? What for? It's just...
It takes up more space.
Yeah. Plus, it's most of the stuff is not going to be, I don't know. I don't
honestly, if you collect this shit and you get old and you die and you hand it down to your kids are probably just going to sell it, or they'll keep it and they'll die. Eventually someone's going to sell it and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take your shit out of the box. Put it on the shelf. Look at it.
My dad's like, so, what are you going to do with this stuff? You can keep it stuff. Like, Dad, no one's taking this stuff away from me. If once I'm gone, then people can do whatever they want with it because I'm not here.
It'll be an estate sale or something. And
something like that. But until then, no, I'm not going to tweak my lifestyle of what I like, in hopes that, because I remember my dad was like thinking he wanted me to open up like my own like vintage like toy store, which I thought was cool, but
that would be badass. But then that you would just start selling off your collection.
Yeah.
Instead,
no. That was the thought process because he actually bought me 2 Prince Adams and the Man at Arms Men on card because he thought I was gonna, and he bought me Clawful Men on card, and thinking that it was his idea of building up stuff for me to sell one day. I'm like, I'm not selling my Men on card Clawful Prince Adam, dude. You are out of your mind.
Yeah. That would be fun to have our own toy store, but at the same time, that kind of turns us into the villains, right? Because we would have to make a profit and we would have to mark stuff up a little bit. But at the same time, too, we wouldn't be like that fucking jack off Justin. We'd actually be open when we say we're going to be open, and we won't display everything in a way that if people touch it, we freak out about it. Get out of my store. I hate that guy.
I kind of feel like, though, too, it's... I had the luxury of going to, like, there was one in Winchester, where he bought those. It was jam-packed with 80s and 90s action figures all over. It was just it was a maze. And, but I don't know how the guy, this was back when we were in high school. This is going back that long ago when I got to go to the store. And he moved locations.
Don't put it like that, because, God, dude, it has been 17 years since we were in high school.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But I do wonder because, with internet, people can just go and find stuff for free.
Yeah. And
you don't have to pay lease or rent or pay a property tax or get insurance for your location and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Being an online retailer is honestly the way to go unless you are in a high traffic area.
Yeah. And plus, where we live too, it's there are collectors in our area.
Yeah, but
we're not in a metropolis. It's a very rural, simple area where like that little toy store that's open up across the street from where I live. It looks like they advertise like starting lineups and pops and NASCAR stuff.
Shit that isn't worth anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I've never been in there. Have you gone in there?
No, because for the longest time he was advertising NASCAR stuff. Like, I'm not going in there to buy Hot Wheels and NASCAR.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing that people around here that I see are really into. You see like those older guys in the Hot Wheel toy aisle.
Yeah, and that's, and I know he's kind of put out some other stuff. I'm like, I don't want to walk in there. And he's like, finally, someone came in. I'm like, oh my God, it's NASCAR collector plates and Hot Wheels all over the place. And he's just got starting lineups in the window to make it look like he's got
stuff, but he might have a playset complete for $50. You don't know.
Well, I'll let you take
that chance to just go in there. Tyler, Fedmon said Tyler will probably be buried with Viper Tower when he goes.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I want to make sure I'm buried with.
I'm not. I'm not taking any shit with me.
I can't control that. In terms of
put it in your will, man. That's how.
Hopefully, the way, this is just hypothetical. Like Bryant will be that emphatic about this kind of stuff.
Breaking everything.
No, not that, but that maybe I could turn it over to him one day, and if he wanted to sell it, he could, but maybe keep some. Like my granddaddy turned over some stuff that he had, like my vintage gumball machine, the rodeo clown, and he gave me a set of vintage NFL football pens I was fascinated with as a kid. Because I liked them a lot, and that's what I would hope to do. But I'll deal with that.
When the time comes.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit and waste away my life.
Hey man, you don't it could be tomorrow. You don't know.
Well, then you know what? Then I have lived the way that I wanted to. So, and no one's going to take that from me.
There we go. Take your shit out of the box.
Yeah, and enjoy it. Unless it's been on card from the 80s.
Unless it's really old and you paid a lot of money for it, then keep it.
Because I think the mentality for most men in box collectors is that you feel like the value, it's new. And honestly, the collector market for mint on card stuff is strictly from the 80s and back and further back. I mean, I can't think of too much from the 90s unless it's Turtles and some G.I. Joe that would be worth money keeping on card.
These Spawn figures are cheap.
They are. That's what I'm saying.
We said it before. Get on this before that new movie comes out, because once that movie comes out, the prices will probably go through the roof. And
even if the movie sucks, it's just scalpers well, it's a movie coming out. People are going to want this stuff. So this mint on card original clown that I can't seem to sell for $5, jack it up to $55.
I was going to say 120.
Well, why not?
There.
How about 150? Dude, we don't have 20. It's good. How good can they be?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. We won't. We'll take a break from Spawn for a little bit. We did 3 in a row. That's kind of unprecedented for us. So next week, look forward to some Superman the animated series. Tyler will pick out an episode of his choosing. We will sit down and we'll do what we always do. Side rants galore in between, and then we'll
talk about the aside from Christopher Reeve's Superman, the most proper version of Superman I think we'll ever get at this point, because it sure as hell isn't in the near future.
Yeah. They ruined that like they've ruined everything else. With that said, thank you guys for joining us live. Those of you that were lurking, I hope you enjoyed the show. Next time, pop in the chat and hang out with everybody. If you're finding this after the fact, we hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you are new to the channel, please hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified when we go live for Capes and Commentaries Beyond Retro Podcast, which we'll be doing tomorrow. I'm assuming Temple of Doom. Look forward to that. And when I go live for Beyond Retro Arcade, check out all the other links down below. Hit Joe up for a custom, buy his t-shirt, check out Transitional Champion Podcast with myself and Doug Turner. Download us on Podbean and iTunes. And I want to encourage you guys to come over from Podbean and iTunes. YouTube.com/Beyond Retro Podcast. Tyler, you got anything else to add before we bounce house?
No. I'm thinking I'm good, dude.
I take a shit shower and bring you your Spawn figure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, with that said, until next time, we will see you in the future to talk about the past. Take care, everybody.